future, shattered dreams, end of times ain't what it seems.
Hello, friends. Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, September 17th, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus from Alternate Current Radio waiting on the line, so let me get through the intro quickly and we'll bring him on and go through the news of the day here for you. Cancel culture is alive and well in MAGA. Jimmy Kimmel, it was just announced, Disney has suspended him from his late night show. And a post I just saw by my governor and dictator here, Gavin Newsom, he says, buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows, these aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP doesn't believe in free speech. They're censoring you in real time. Yeah, well, California does the same thing. So there you go. The government's tyrannical maniacs. That's kind of why we have a show here, to expose it through all the censorship. Trump's in the UK with Big Brother today, with King Charles, the architect of the Great Reset. We're still in the Great Reset. If you had forgotten out there, drunk on MAGA American flags, Trump's praising him. So it's just truly despicable, disgusting, and Trump's showing his true colors, and I guess MAGA loves it. I thought we were supposed to hate Britain, actually, but we have a very special relationship with them because they're actually running things. And so we have that to go over. Massive amount of propaganda about how wonderful Big Brother is, right? Bullshit. We'll go over that today for you. We also have more Epstein, not really revelations, just bumbling and fumbling by Kash Patel. He's just a liar, like all the rest of them. Shocking, I know. What else do we got? We got public health news, and we have Department of Homeland Security says, or ICE says, that 2 million illegal aliens have voluntarily deported themselves from America. I don't think we can trust these government numbers, but that's what they say. So that's what we're going to report to you here now today. What else? We got the Mr. Palantir man, Mr. Technocracy, head of the CDC, Jim O'Neill, actually making sense. You know what I mean? So that's kind of scary. We'll read his post to you here about public health and the whole medical intervention. So that's kind of bizarre. And then we have, of course, Aardvarks genocide news. It just doesn't end. Big pushback though now. Trump and Mr. Bibi, but he's supposed to come here and visit in 2 weeks. Trump, with his undying allegiance, and the rest of these clowns in our government, is destroying America, whatever reputation we had left in the world, our political capital, diplomatic capital. They're destroying it by hitching our wagon to the Aardvarks genocide here now, with little Marco, Secretary of State's visit there, with the buffoon ambassador Huckabee. It's just damn evil. They're evil. They're evil occultists, man, masquerading as Christians, and it's truly disgusting. All that to go over. Big news, EU lays out new tariffs and sanctions against Aardvark land. So now we're going to have to sanction the EU and drone all of them. Maybe we'll just, join up with Russia and attack EU. Anything for Aardvark genocide. Whole lot of news about that. Let's get to this day in history. Let me blast through this. On this day in history of September 17th, going back to the year 1394, Aardvarks are to be expelled from France by order of King Charles IV. There, quite horrific antiseptic behavior by King Charles IV out of France. On this day in 1683, Dutch scientist Anton von Leeuwenhoek, something like this, discovered bacteria. Kind of a significant discovery there. In 1778, on this day, the first treaty between the United States and Indian tribes is signed at Fort Pitt. So trying to stop the old American genocide on the Native Americans here. Continuing, on this day in 1849, Harriet Tubman is the first to escape slavery in Maryland with two of her brothers. In 1850, San Francisco saw the fourth Great Fire, its fourth Great Fire. They did their damnedest to burn down San Francisco there in 1850. In 1862, the Battle of Antietam, or Battle of Sharpsburg, bloodiest battle in the American Civil War, with 22,000 dead, wounded, or missing in the first major battle on Union soil. Quite horrific tragedy there. And then we fast forward to 1934. On this day, Ruckus may appreciate this, RCA Victor releases the first 33 1/3 RPM recording, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, performed by the Philadelphia Orchestra, led by Leopold Strosky at the Philadelphia Academy of Music. 33, coincidentally enough there. In 1952, on this day, I Am an American and Constitution Day are renamed Citizenship Day. So happy Citizenship Day. Deport yourself. In 1956, television is first broadcast in Australia. And so I know they do appreciate the brainwashing and mind control coming out of the television set there in Australia. 1989, on this day, Hurricane Hugo kills 85 in Charleston, South Carolina, tragically enough. In 2001, major trading markets in the United States, including the New York Stock Exchange and New York Mercantile Exchange, reopened for the first time since 9/11. And let's not forget, the lying criminal government, the EPA, said that air was safe to breathe at ground zero and told the first responders on 9/11 to not wear a mask. And now they're suffering from all kinds of adverse health effects from that, an obvious lie from your criminal government, and it's horrific. And they're talking about cutting their health care. Air was safe to breathe. They're a bunch of conspiracy theorists, right? That's why they're all dying of cancer and lung disease and all these different problems, because the conspiracy got in their lungs. Just disgusting. No accountability from the criminal government ever for any wrongdoings. Where do we go? It's an upbeat show today, right? Right. It's just, man. And we're just scratching the surface here on of this history. 1787, on this day in our civil liberties history, Constitution Day, U.S. Constitution signed, sent to the states for ratification. And then this brings up in my mind what Legal Man always says: I wasn't a party to this contract. It holds no weight over me. And that is a solid anarchist argument against why are we bound by the Constitution, the freedom machine, as Legal Man would say, which has done nothing of the sort for us here now. So just think about that. How are we bound to the freedom document, the Constitution, when we're not party to it? In 1913, on this day, the Defamation League, ADL, Anti-Defamation League, was founded. It's an Aardvarks civil rights organization. They run around cancel everybody as well for antiseptic behavior or perceived that way. The most notorious antiseptic event during the time of the founding of the ACLU was the lynching of Leo Frank in Georgia. He was just a, child raper, but that's antiseptic to oppose such activity by Aardvarks, as the ADL tells us. And in 1937, FDR's Constitution Day speech extraordinarily claims of presidential power. FDR marked the 150th anniversary of the Constitution on this day with a speech that set forth extraordinary claims of presidential power. His views were shaped by the immediate political and economic context of the speech. The Supreme Court had struck down the major New Deal reforms during Roosevelt's first term as president, and many people, including FDR, felt the nation had reached a constitutional crisis. In his speech, FDR argued that the Constitution was a, quote, people's document and not a lawyer's one, and a document that gave the president the power to act unilaterally in national emergencies. Roosevelt never fully acted on this idea. However, like I've been saying, they declare emergency, watch out, because they're coming after you. It's tyranny. They don't give a damn if fake, real, it don't matter. They're coming after your rights. And in 2001, on this day, authority to torture, President Bush signed secret directive giving CIA authority to capture and interrogate terrorists, quote, terrorists. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Don't forget that. On this day, 6 days after 9/11, terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, President George W. Bush signed a secret directive authorizing the CIA to capture and interrogate suspected terrorists in other countries. The directive still has not been made public. It is the document that led to many abuses perpetrated by the CIA in the war on terror, including, quote, harsh interrogation or captured terrorist suspects that human rights experts believe constituted torture in violation of the UN Convention Against Torture and also in violation of American law. The use of torture by the US and the accompanying disregard for international law in the war against terror is one of the most shameful events in American history. Really? We got to get those damn terrorists, Al-Qaeda, you know what I mean? In 2003, Ohio re-ratifies the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment to the Constitution, originally adopted July 19th, 1868, guarantees that the states shall not deprive people of due process of law or equal protection under the law. What a joke. And with that, we're going to do our segue. There's quite a few quickly economic news. The Federal Reserve did announce it will cut interest rates by 0.25%. Whoopty freaking do. Here's our segue. Propaganda from the kings, literally the UK, with the, what do they call this stupid ceremony? Windsor Castle arrival ceremony, postcard edition. Isn't it all so wonderful? So, Ruckus, Trump is over there straightening out Big Brother, King Charles, and Keir Starmer and telling them we will have no reset in America. No, he's actually over there licking their boots. How you doing today on this Wednesday, Ruckus?
He's not there in Israel with the rest of our politicians?
They are not yet. I think Bibi's coming here in 2 weeks, so I don't know if Trump is going to make it there.
I
Yeah.
wonder what golden gift he's going to bring our local king this time. Hey, since we basically have a king anyway, right? Isn't that the argument? Why don't we get all the pomp and circumstance like the UK's got? It's so cool. The UK's got it going on, and their parliament debates are quite fascinating and always a jolly good time. Yeah, no. What do we got here? We got the orange man, right?
Red coats equal turncoats.
There you
go. More video of it. Here it is with the architect of the Great Reset. We're in the Great Reset. And yeah, Trump licks the boots there. I thought we defeated this during the Revolutionary War, but somehow, some way, nope.
Time out now. Where did that one come from? Who posted that?
The royal family.
So the royal look, they're using the same people who make the White House propaganda. You could recognize if you could play one of the White House propaganda pieces and listen to the music, and then you watch that one, listen to the music, and pay attention. You're like, oh my gosh, they're using the same director, which is really interesting because I just recently saw a clip of the guy was blacked out and his voice was changed, but allegedly a Mossad agent who said that they were the actors and the directors on the world was their stage. I thought that was very strange, but anyways, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was a 60 Minutes interview. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Thank you very much. But I'm sure it has nothing to do with anything that I'm discussing.
No, they literally told you it's all theater and we're staging psyops constantly and running propaganda campaigns against the population in the world. And you should thank us because we're wonderful aardvarks from hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would suggest by examining both pieces of propaganda coming from both of these countries and feed it to AI if you like. And then it doesn't matter who's really doing it. Ask them whether or not they believe on a scale of 1 to 10 the likelihood of both of those pieces being produced from the same production house. And I bet you anything, the answer is going to be a solid 10, yes.
Here's more. This is from the White House. And so, yeah, we'll keep that in mind as we go through some of these clips. Are these the same propagandists? Is it all coming out of the UK? There's no audio here. It's just, aren't they so elegant? Spitting on the serfs. What a joke, dude. I don't know how any American could look at Trump and say, oh, we just love this. What a freaking joke. This is so anti-American. I don't even have words for it. Isn't that all so dignified and wonderful? Pure garbage, man.
Fantastic.
It's fantastical. Here, listen to Trump. There was rumors he can't read. Apparently he can read, or he memorized this. Let's watch this clip. On behalf of all Americans, not me, buddy. Not me. But let's hear what he's saying on our behalf here as Americans.
On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to one of the great friendships, to two great countries, and to His Majesty, King Charles III, a very, very special man, and also a very, very special queen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with you.
Talk about making you want to throw up, man. And then, well, let's hear it. Let's hear a little bit more from Trump there. I don't know how much I can stomach of this before I just throw up.
Many years ago, His Majesty opened his archives to a biographer. Among the documents was a letter from 1993 in which he described the patriotism and guided his many projects. He wrote that he was, quote, entirely motivated by a desperate desire to put the great back into Great Britain. In the finest tradition of British sovereigns, he's given his whole heart, everything he's got, to those parts of Britain that are beyond the realm of mere legislation. It's not easy, but which define its essence and its virtue, its harmony and its soul. It's an amazing calling, and there's nobody that's answered that calling like you have. A fifth of all of humanity speaks, writes, thinks, and prays in the language born on these isles and perfected in the pages of Shakespeare and Dickens and Tolkien, Lewis, Orwell, and Kipling. Incredible people, unbelievable people like we have rarely seen before.
He threw Orwell in there.
That was a good one.
Is
Is there any more of that one? That speech?
There is a little more. You want to hear the rest?
Well, no, I was just wondering if you were going to play any more before I say what I'm going to say.
No, we're going to play the Great Reset for those that forgot.
So that whole thing right there, see, they won't show you the footage of this, but as soon as Trump was done, he said, and never, ever forget that 249 years ago, we kicked your butts. Booyah. And he jumped up on the table and did like a little dance and kicked the stuff around and then ran out screaming, America, America, MAGA. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
USA. Here's your King Charles that Trump's over there praising, announcing the Great Reset. We're still in it. Everybody forgot. I didn't forget. The one world government agenda is full steam ahead there. This who Trump is praising right now, or earlier today.
We have an incredible opportunity to create entirely new sustainable industries, investing in nature as the true engine of our economy.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to reset and accelerate efforts to improve the state of our world.
Changing our current trajectory will require bold and imaginative action, together with determination and decisive leadership. In order to secure our future and to prosper, we need to evolve our economic model, putting people and planet at the heart of global value creation. If there is one critical lesson we have to learn from this crisis, we need to put nature at the heart of how we operate. We are on the verge of catalytic breakthroughs that will alter our view of what is possible and profitable within the framework of a sustainable future. We need nothing short of a paradigm shift, one that inspires action at revolutionary levels and pace. We simply cannot waste any more time. The only limit is our willingness to act. And the time to act is now.
For those that forgot, that was King Charles launching the Great Reset. Yeah. And Trump's over there praising him, truly disgusting, along with Klaus Schwab. And Trump was part of it too. They ask if with the medical intervention, emergency lockdown, better in the YouTube says was Trump knighted? I don't know. It's probably in all kind of secret.
I should have made the finger in my picture sausage finger. That would have been funny.
More propaganda. Here's a flyover. Red, white, and blue joint U.S.-UK flyover. What do they say here? They're saying land on the Rumble says 600,000 U.S. farm boys gave their living for this, talking about World War I, World War II. It said we had to go over there and save the British monarchy twice. Oh my gosh.
Are we going to have a second Revolutionary War to break free from control?
Remember they were floating the idea of making the United States part of the UK Commonwealth? It wouldn't surprise me if Trump did that, honestly. He's such a freaking traitor. And it's naked. It's naked, and we're just supposed to cheer it on. You're wonderful. It's all secret and planned, and we just don't understand. No, we could see your tyranny and treason right in front of our face here. MAGA's blind to it. Look at that. Disgusting. Disgusting.
I'm sure it's not by accident.
What, do you think I thought they may burst into flames here. Trump and First Lady visit St. George Chapel there in Windsor Castle. Let's watch this short clip. Surprised they didn't burst into flames. Damn, Bindi says, I wonder how long after this day World War III will become a reality. Jeez.
Let's see, what time is it?
Jeez.
That's interesting that they went to St. George's, because there was a little bit of that St. George symbolism related to Freemasonry and whatnot with the Charlie Kirk incident, we'll call it.
Trump's not a Christian. He's an occultist. Everybody needs to get that through their thick skulls. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Here's President Trump and old lizard lady, the Queen of England, bless her heart. Like radiating evil, and we're supposed to say it's wonderful. The UK announced, listen to this one, Ruckus. UK announced 150 billion pounds in US investments as King Charles hosted Trump. Deals include Blackstone's 90 billion pounds, Palantir 1.5 billion pounds, Proteges with a IS, weird spelling, 3.9 billion, creating 7,600 UK jobs across defense. So there you go. Speaking to World War III there, AI data centers and infrastructure. Boeing will build US Air Force planes in the UK for the first time in 50 years. That's a report out of Bloomberg. So yeah, kind of speaking to World War III ramping up here.
So it's these companies that will be doing these. The plants will be located in these countries, but it's not going to be the American workers, right?
No, it's going. Those are American companies going to UK to help spread the war, to help pump up the war machine.
How does this all play out once all the workers get replaced by the robots?
They feed them in there for energy, I guess, and keep the Terminators fueled up.
My gosh!
There's like 8. Remember that one? Remember that one clip that was going around the internet? It's like maybe 2 years ago now, where they rolled out. I think it was China. They had robots that fuel themselves off of organic matter. Remember that? And
Yeah,
they're
so
like,
that's that. Okay, it goes actually older than that, but they were
it was
called
older than that.
Eater robots. EATR, I think they stood for something. But yeah, there are robots allegedly that can consume biological material as fuel.
Humans, they can eat humans basically, and they use that as fuel for their robot energy.
And then they're like, well, even though that's technically true, we really designed them to eat plants and small animals. What?
Oh man! So are we buying? We're not there yet, but let's hear old JD Vance, Mr. Technocracy. MAGA cheers it on. They're like, we want Vance now. I'm like, you people lost your damn mind. You lost the plot. And thank you very much for your tyranny. Right wingers always screaming about go USA.
You talk to the shooter's mother, you talk to the shooter's father, you talk to the local district attorney, you talk to the FBI director or the deputy director of the FBI. You look at every ounce of evidence that we have, and it is clear. This is a person who grew up in a pretty normal family, actually had a pretty good home life, who was radicalized by the far left, by the social networks of the far left, by the ideas of the far left, and got so far down the path of radicalization that he killed my friend. That is not a both sides problem. My friend is dead because of left-wing political radicalization, and if you want to cut that out, then be honest about it and look yourself in the mirror.
I can't anymore, Sam. I can't. Listen, you can take what these people are saying, and that's a perfect example right there. I'm just picturing it in my head, like 4, 6, however many years ago, be a Democrat, and that they're talking about far right Republicans and MAGA, and I'm just like, dude, it's the same talking point. It's the same
script. They just flipped it.
Literally, it's not even like a stretch of the imagination. I'm not tripping. I'm not making this up. I'm just observing what everybody should see. But for some strange reason, this is the magic that politics has over people. They're just completely blind to it when their team is doing it. It's crazy. I'm blown away. I can't. It's nuts.
It's shocking. I know. What does Bindi say? JD forgot to say Hamas. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't say the shooter screamed "Free Palestine." Right? Oh my
I'm waiting. Are we going to get worse? Remember, we had the singing Mary Poppins lady saying we gotta fight disinformation. Who's going to be the right version of that? We're going to get somebody like that. Watch. Remember, I said that they're going to roll out.
They say they're making lists on the internet.
Do it.
They're making.
It's going to be somebody from Fox News. We got to come up with this by the end of the show. Everybody in the chat, tell me who's going to be the Mary Poppins singing disinfo chick this round, but she's on the right side. Who is that character? Let me know, okay?
Yeah, we did announce that, Carrie, and much luck. And I'll pray for you on your surgery tomorrow. I hope your medical treatment goes well. And we did report that, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. And so they're creating lists on the interwebs. They're bragging about it, saying, give us what they said bad or derogatory, whatever, that we didn't like about Charlie Kirk. Give us their name. We're going to dox them. We're going after them at their job. It's like everything that they said was wrong with cancel culture coming out of Democrats and the quote left wing. They are now doing exactly like you said, just a total flip here, right? They flipped the script. And now it's acceptable for Republican MAGAs to go ahead and cancel anybody that they don't like, apparently, here now. And they're all cheering it on, how wonderful all of their, quote, activism is. But you just said they're evil for doing that 5 minutes ago when Democrats were doing that to you. Wait a minute here.
I figured it out because they're not using a script. I know what they're doing. You remember that game Mad Libs where you would get the little booklets and it was like tell a funny little paragraph of a story, but they would leave words blank and you would have to you'd ask your friends, tell me a noun, tell me a verb, and then you'd fill in the blank words. That's what they're doing. They're just using Mad Libs. I get it now.
More Epstein denial today. Here's a cartoon. This cartoon was featured in Epstein's 2003 birthday book compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell, included messages both from Trump and Clinton. Funny how Epstein's shadow always seems to follow Trump, but sure, it's all just a Democrat hoax, right? It is. It's a Democrat hoax. Trump told me so. How sick is this? That's pretty sick. Oh, but there's more. Look at this. Now, these guys were smarter than those other guys. I like that big. If you guys saw yesterday, I played the video, the giant, I don't even know what you call it, just a giant scroll of Epstein Trump photo together for Trump's visit to the UK, but that had to cost a lot of money. Anyway, more power to them, but this is a more economical and efficient idea, I do believe. They went around projecting. 4 people have been arrested after projecting images of Trump and Epstein at another of his 2023 mugshot on the Windsor Castle during Trump's visit. Here's the video. Oh my gosh. They got arrested for this in the UK. Freedom, man. We support you 100%.
How did they get out? How did they get all right.
There you go. That was good. If you're watching close, they threw in there, so it was like almost subliminal. Will you declassify 9/11? Trump said yes. We haven't seen Jack. We're not going to see Jack.
So they arrested the person who did that, or people?
4 people were arrested. Yeah.
It's not vandalism. It's not any. I don't even know. Like, what are the chart? What did the heck did? Wow, they have to like probably create a whole new crime for what these. What the heck, dude? What are they arrested
it's
for?
It's antiseptic. It hurt MAGA's feelings, and so that's good.
Crazy.
Yeah. We're looking at tyranny.
I bet Trump supported that. He's like, yeah, get that down. Get those guys.
Kit's wife, president. We got to put this up because we got a $2. Thank you very much there. Plutonium Productions. Super chat. Thank you very much. Kit's wife for Prez 28. Oh my gosh. Okay. They're still going over it. They say Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, says the era of spying and silencing is over under Trump and the Trump FBI. They're going around canceling people as we speak. I guess it's not the government, though, officially, so it's all okay. They're being pressured by the government, but that would never happen. This clown, Jim Jordan. At one time, I used to think, wow, this guy's really on it, a great American. Turns out it's all theater. He does have blockbuster sound bites at his hearings. Nothing ever happens. Just crime after crime exposed. No one ever gets in trouble. It's all fake. There's like a 5-minute clip. I think we'll skip it because I can't even stomach Jim Jordan or Kash Patel. Here's Democrats. I can't even stomach it. I'll just report to you. I'm not even play the video. At this hearing, Kash Patel was asked, how many times does President Trump's name appear in the Epstein files. He says he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's on it, man. He's on the important things. And then also, Kash Patel, during the oversight hearing today, he said he was asked, what's up with the Epstein files? Says, I haven't personally even reviewed them. Like, what? Spitting in your face, MAGA, and you love it. And you love it, just like an aardvark would do there. And it kind of ties together. Anyway, that was a bad analogy. Okay, continuing here. Martial law is rolling out. It's going to Memphis. And here's the report. Wow. And Memphis is cheering it on, I guess. I don't know. That's what they tell us. And coming to a city near you, apparently.
President Trump announced he is sending the National Guard to Memphis. It's the latest city to be targeted in the administration's crime crackdown. U.S. Congressman from Tennessee, Chuck Fleischman, says the move is justified as city authorities have failed to keep citizens safe there.
I would say that they have failed abysmally with the highest crime rate in America. The results are there. I fully support law enforcement in what they're doing. But if they're failing and the crime rates, particularly the violent crime rates, are going through the roof, and honest, good, loving citizens cannot feel safe in their communities, we have got to step in and fix this.
I support law enforcement even if they're total failures. Like, what the? You can criticize these assholes, man. Come on, dude. It just, this stuff pisses me off. And by the way, that was a spelling error because he was watering his garden, he said, but it was actually Charlie Kirk's wife for president 2028. Maybe they may run her. No, I think their man, J.D. Vance, is there already one step away from the presidency. He ain't going nowhere. He will be installed as your technocracy president.
No, back up. What about Gavin? You don't think he's got a chance? Come on now.
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
Come on,
Their
bro.
man is already there.
See, because Vance is gonna wrap things up here because, I mean, I don't know. Something could happen to the big guy, and in that case, yeah, Vance would be in. I don't think it's going to be next time around. I think they're clearly. I mean, look at the division and all the things that they're causing now, and so all of the lefties are going to come out. The not far lefties, the politicians are gonna say, we're gonna be the bigger man or woman. We're gonna take the high road and we're gonna beat them. You know how we win this war at the ballots. We're gonna beat them by voting harder. And so yeah, they're gonna vote in and then not say whatever RIG the elections, but sometimes they do, and it's a possibility. But let's just say that the left comes into power the next time around. Oh my, the right's gonna be in for a world of hurting. That's all I gotta say.
The pendulum will swing back the other way. I do agree with you. Karen's happy about martial law. Well, then you should like this, the return of law and order. Let's hear Ice Barbie now tell us all about it.
If you ask a victim's family if it's worth it, they would say it would be worth it if they could have their daughter back, if they could have their son back. So, you can't put a price on somebody's life like that. And then also just the ability to live in peace. That's one of the things I was talking to the president about is, in DC, it was so crime ridden, and him coming in and really helping that city so much. It took a few days for people to remember what it felt like to be free. It took a while for people to walk down the street and realize, oh, I haven't been able to, do this in so long. I forgot how good it felt to take my kids to a park or to enjoy a restaurant.
It's such bullshit, dude. They're acting like DC was a war zone. Maybe in some neighborhoods it was pretty bad, but come on, dude. Give me a break. And old Plutonium said that, let's put that back up there. Thank you again, Plutonium, for that super chat. Vivek Ramaswamy for Ohio Governor 26. Yeah, he's Mr. Technocracy as well. All the pieces are getting in place here now. And imagine him they'll definitely take it regardless of what you vote for in our democracy. If he's Ohio, a major swing state there, if Mr. Technocracy, old Vivek, is installed as governor, which it looks like he will be, deep state party.
This is the hottest toy this year, kids.
Let me read that real quick. The starter pack, the deep state expansion pack, gas can matches, stacks of papers, money, rusty handcuffs, makeup kit. I like the makeup kit the best. They're all dolled up, man, like supermodels. But we're supposed to respect.
We need to do an action figure series for all the Technocracy bros, like maybe JD Vance as like a superhero. Yeah, I think so.
So I know Karen's a big fan of police state, as am I. Well, you'll appreciate this next story. From the White House, force multiplier. The Department of Homeland Security has secured 1,000 partnerships with state and local law enforcement. Yeah, that's the federalization of your local police is happening in front of your eyes, and you're cheering it on. What the hell's wrong with you, MAGA? Well, I don't believe this, but Department of Homeland Security says it, so it must be true, right? They've never lied to us about, I don't know, 9/11. They say 2 million gone. Now DHS announces 2 million illegal aliens have left the United States in less than 250 days. Part of the self-deportation program. I don't believe them, but that's what they're saying, so we're reporting.
Where did they go?
To fuel the Terminators, I guess. Yeah, where did they go? That's a good 2 million people. It's kind of a lot of people. Where the hell did all of them go? I don't know.
I guess that's not our problem.
Jeez. And then backhanded compliment here, as Trump likes to troll. President Trump writes letter to send America's newest citizens. The rich heritage is now yours to protect, promote, and pass down to the next generation. Our history is now your history, and our Constitution is now yours to safeguard, honor, and respect as they violate the Constitution in your face and laugh at you. Get the hell out of here, illegal, self-deport now.
That's the problem with that Constitution thing. It's just a piece of paper, and it looks good on paper. But again, paper can be set on fire. Yeah.
If you don't have a reason to stay home and drink 24/7, you do now, Karen says. Yeah.
Cheers.
You may want to drink after this video. This is like the most cringe thing. I can't. How do they even do this? I don't know, but they're still going with it. The bat miracle. We showed the image yesterday that New York governor.
Let me go get some Kahlua for my coffee real quick.
New York Governor Holschool. We showed the image of just the photo, but hey, there's more. She put out a video about it. So let's watch this. Well, she says. She said when the Trump administration tried to make it harder, I stepped in to make sure New York could still roll up their sleeves at their local pharmacy. What planet are we on, dude?
My name's Steve Kaufman. I'm a pharmacist here at Esco Pharmacy. Been a pharmacist since 1977. Just want to thank the governor for signing the executive order, making the vaccines available to all New Yorkers in this state. Vaccines are safe and effective. There's really nothing to worry about. Getting the vaccine, and now we can protect any New Yorker in the state that wants a vaccine without any problems.
Is that this year? I'm confused. Is that old footage?
No, this is today.
Why is there an executive order?
She posted it yesterday. This is yesterday from the governor of New York, Holschool.
What's the executive order then?
We're in. I don't know what executive order she wrote, but she's promoting the heck out of it. And we're September 17th, 2025, and they're still doing it there in New York.
Well, that's what the guy said. They said something about it since the executive order.
Shout out again. Plutonium Productions says, I heard force multiplier was in the Air Force's speculative research paper on owning the weather in 2025. Yeah, I do believe they use that language a lot. Force multiplier. Thank you again for that super chat. Sticker. I need to buy 2 stickers. All right, put in your order. Thank you very much for all of your support there. I do appreciate it. As we muddle through the insanity of the day here, more public health news. Obesity exceeds underweight for the first time among school-age children and adolescents globally, according to UNICEF. And this is a post by the Health and Human Services Department, but not in Gaza. Not in Gaza, that's for sure. What else do we got? There's more, but there's more. Good news here. You should be boycotting McDonald's just on general principle, but McDonald's plans $200 million investment to promote regenerative practices on U.S. cattle ranches. This is a big win for regenerative grazing practices, habitat restoration, water and wildlife conservation, Bobby Kennedy says. Yeah, I don't believe anything that McDonald's says. Sorry to tell you, but yeah, I'll pass.
What the F does regenerative practices mean? Does that mean that they're like the robots? They're eating the dead cows?
I think it's like supposed to be sustainable agriculture is what they're saying. But yeah, I don't... Regenerative
grazing. They're eating poop. They're eating their own poop. I get it. There you go.
Oh, man. Here is... Oh, that's too long, but 5-minute video. Again, all the links, I'll put the links, even though we don't have time to play it today. Susan Moran's, the now fired former head of the CDC, was questioned hard today at a theatrical hearing by Senator Rand Paul on the efficacy of childhood bat miracles, and probably get banned for playing it. But anyway, I think we already know the score on that front, so we can move on. Just stupid stuff, I guess. Just stupid stuff out of that hearing. I guess she's suing now the federal government for her job back. So yeah, it's like really hard to get rid of these people. So we need to think twice before we hire them in the first place, I would say. They're at the government because they refuse to freaking leave even after fired.
Who put her in power?
Trump.
Oh, weird.
Well, I believe it was actually the Senate. Well, it was nominated by Trump or HHS, Bobby Kennedy Jr., and confirmed by the Senate. So they're all part of the conspiracy for our good health here now. But taxpayers are going to go ahead and fit the bill to fight that legal battle as well. Kennedy and Oz, rural America's health care is collapsing, they're telling us here now, after a $50 billion gift from the government to supposedly do something in rural health care. Here is from Mr. Technocracy trying to show us he's not really that bad of a guy. Literally worked directly for Peter Thiel's venture capital firm. I'm sure there's no conflict of interest here, but the new acting CDC director now, Jim O'Neill, let me put this up. Sounds good. I want to like him, but I just have this, feeling in the back of my mind that he can't be trusted. He said, unelected bureaucrats unaccountable to the American public gave us unpopular policies like mask mandates, social distancing, school closures, and forced miracles for kids long after the period of public emergency had ended. These policies flew in the face of science and common sense. The American people deserve better and leaders committed to that cause. And so I want to like the guy, Ruckus, but I just can't. I just can't.
I don't like how it's long after the emergency. That no, it shouldn't have even been during the emergency. Who cares about? There should be no emergency. Full stop. There you go.
There you go. That's much better put. Here is shout out to Barry on the interwebs. He sent me this and said he's distraught about chemtrails to play this video as part of the public health section. So we shall. It's one of these flight trackers, and it does look like they're geoengineering here. So let's take a look. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Short clip here from Barry.
Che bella cosa una giornata e sole, l'aria serena dopo una tempesta, e l'aria fresca paresa una festa. Che bella cosa una giornata e sole.
That's perfectly normal flight patterns. Barry said they're spraying every day where he's at, and it's making him sick. Horrific.
That was pretty neat, dude. I miss my Etch-a-Sketch. remember Etch-a-Sketch?
What do they say in the chats here? Yeah, Denver says Jim O'Neill related to Shaquille O'Neal. No, I don't think so. Jim O'Neill is a white nerd looking dude. Here, I'll show you his photo here. This is Jim O'Neill. He doesn't look like a relative of Shaquille O'Neal, the 7-foot basketball player. Maybe, who knows? Anything can happen in America, but that's Jim O'Neill for you.
And y'all think 7 feet is tall. Like you're like, yeah, we get it, that's tall. But when you run into somebody who's actually 7 feet, you're like, dang, that's tall.
Who did I see? The guy from Jaws, right? You know, from James Bond, that actor.
Gotcha,
That guy was damn near. He, I remember in high school, I met him after one of our football games because his son played for the other team, Yosemite High School. Anyway, that guy was like, I want to say close to 7 feet tall, pretty damn. And at that time, he was old already, and he was like kind of hunched over because he was so freaking big, but just a monster of a man. And like you said, you really don't know until you're in person. And it's like his hand was like freaking twice the size of my hand. You know what I mean? Just a giant man. But you do put it in perspective for these large individuals, meeting them in person for sure.
Maybe they're Nephilim.
they're the giants that are hidden by the Smithsonian. Maybe.
I'm totally kidding.
Protesters rally outside Peter Thiel's Antichrist lecture in San Francisco. I don't know why they would be upset about this. What's going on there? As we continue to report this bizarre lecture by Peter Thiel. I guess we need to be nice to him or he'll pound-tier us. I would actually like to hear it, his Antichrist lecture, but it's behind a paywall. And so I don't think it will be leaked on the interwebs. But about 50 people were gathered outside the San Francisco Club Embarcadero office building where Thiel is giving a 4-part lecture series on the Antichrist, the demonic false Messiah that Christians believe will begin the second coming of Jesus Christ. And so isn't it creepy that Peter Thiel, at this point in time, is giving a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist? It's what? That's where we're at here.
Look, he says he's a Christian. He's doing these lectures. He's been talking about, he's trying to warn people against the Antichrist. He's not the Antichrist himself. That makes no sense. Of course, it's not helping his case for those who believe that theory. There's something a little off with that guy. How come every single still image of that guy, there's like, he looks evil, or there's something wrong with him, or he's like, I don't know, man. He does look like he's infected by some sort of spirit. That's all I'm saying.
Looks like it's, this longevity, try to live forever, transhumanism gone wrong. Yeah, he looks all jacked up, like he has like AIDS or something. I don't know. Like he looks ill. And like you said, it looks like he's possessed by some type of evil spirit that's like sucking the life out of him, literally. Horrific. Okay, on to, we're doing quite well. We're at the hour mark. Let's take our live commercial break. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com. There's some of your stickers, Plutonium, that you were talking about. Very nice, huh? I appreciate them. We got the holograph sticker, the white background sticker, and the clear sticker there. Put it on your laptop, your bumper, your guitar, your work locker, your Cybertruck, and help spread the word about Weaponized News. Go to weaponizednews.com and help support the cause. We do appreciate all the super chats that we've got today from Plutonium and all of our subscribers. Thank you very much. We need a lot more help over here to actually make this some type of profitable venture, because it's a work of love here now to break down all the propaganda and mind control for you on Weaponized News. Okay, go ahead and plug away.
Sure. Go ahead and go to alternatecurrentradio.com, and there you will find some stuff that I do, some stuff that my friends and colleagues do, such as the Boiler Room, Sunday Wire, and then we also have other podcasts. One of them is the Mystical American Patriot Society, and of course Roundabout Ruckus, where you'll find me on my most recent appearances here, as well as other places as I go roundabout, as it were. Again, that's alternatecurrentradio.com, and there you'll find links to find me on social media, send me email, support my work with a buy me a coffee, and all of that fun stuff. Thanks. That's it.
All right. Their contact at AC_wordslinger for your interweb needs as well. Thank you very much for that plug. Gunther said he had to go to sleep, so bye, Gunther. Have a good one. We appreciate your efforts here. Chloe says, wish you would make a t-shirt. The thing about the t-shirts is you got to make any money on it, you have to carry the inventory, and there's a cost to it. And I don't know if I could sell. I still got a bunch of books sitting over there I can't sell about the miracles, you know what I mean? Because that has already passed. I don't know I have to find a way to make them.
I'll talk to you about that offline. There is a way. I sell shirts, but I don't have inventory.
Yeah, I understand that, but the profit margin on drop shipping is like very small. You know what I mean? So you got to like make them, hold the inventory. Anyway, some thoughts going through my head. I may try to do something like that for you guys if you would be interested in a Weaponized News shirt. I think it would probably be the logo. I don't even know what to put on it. Some snarky sayings, maybe. I don't know. Something to think about there, but it would take an investment on my part. So anyway, maybe that can help expand operations. Okay, continuing back to the news here. On the second half of Weaponized News, thank you for joining us on this September 17th, 2025 edition, Wednesday with Ruckus from Alternate Current Radio. And we just covered a whole bunch of insanity, and now we're on to the geopolitics of the world. Surprisingly enough, big deal, actually. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have signed a mutual defense pact. The agreement commits both nations to enhanced defense cooperation and states that any attack on one will be considered an attack on both. Watch out, India. You know what I mean? Don't be attacking Pakistan, or Saudi Arabia may fly some planes into your building. I don't know what they would do, but just saying, kind of a big deal there. The genocide continues, sadly. It's just, it never stops here now, does it? Last 24 hours, 83 Palestinians have been said to be killed, and 61 injured there in Gaza City as the blitzkrieg of tanks, bombs, and other weapons goes in there to try to clear them out, to ethnically cleanse Gaza City is exactly what's happening there now. And they told them either leave or die, basically, and I guess they'll shoot you as you're leaving, as has been the trend here now, and seeking aid. And so it's quite horrific indeed. Let's hear from the Pope about it. Even the Pope. So this is what I'm talking about. America has lost the rest of the world on this issue, besides Fiji and freaking Hungary. You know what I mean? There's going to be a very small percentage at the UN that are on the side of the Aardvarks genocide here now. Here's the Pope even. So the Catholic Church is now calling it out.
I express my deep closeness with the Palestinian people in Gaza, who continue to live in fear and survive in unacceptable conditions, forced once again to leave their land. Before the Almighty Lord, who commanded us not to kill, and in front of the whole of human history, every person always has an inviolable dignity that must be respected and protected.
Aardvarks have lost the Vatican now, Ruckus.
So what changes?
We'll get to that. Here's Hollywood. They lost Hollywood too, surprisingly enough. Let's watch this. Most of the time, these are garbage mashup clips of these actors, but this time it may very well be for a good cause.
Together for Palestine.
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 Together for Palestine.
We have to tell the truth on behalf of the people of Palestine.
It's always been the artist's role in society to speak out, to risk speaking truth to power.
Together. We know that the leaders of this country are complicit in the mass murder of civilians in Gaza and the West Bank.
Palestine के लिए एक साथ
Juntos por Palestina.
लखेला arson Palestine
हम फलस्तीन के लिए एक साथ
ਅਸੀਂ Palestine ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਂ
Een Engelglesh on Palestine. Together for Palestine.
It's important to speak out now, not when this is over. Right now, while it's happening.
For Palestine.
Pressurize your government. Lend your support to those who are peacefully campaigning.
For Palestine.
Call for a ceasefire. Stop the killing.
Y vamos a estar con ellos hasta que Palestina sea libre.
All antiseptic, and they probably should all be droned at this benefit concert they're putting on in the UK today, actually. So there you go.
Those are all musicians?
Actors, musicians, quote, artists together.
I don't recognize any of them. There was one guy I thought I recognized, and I forgot his name, but I definitely recognized the one guy. You know, the one guy.
Togetherforpalestine.org is their website here.
And there was this one of the ladies. I thought I recognized her. Yeah.
They'll never find a job again now in Hollywood. Thank you very much for that. Here's one of my favorite cartoon villains. Aardvarkland Finance Minister Smotrich called Gaza a real estate bonanza, saying Aardvarkland is discussing with the U.S. how to divide the territory after the war. Wow, dude. What do you even say to this?
To the victors go the spoils, right?
Even Big Brother, upon Trump's visit there, UK to recognize Palestine by week's end. The UK is expected to formally recognize a Palestinian state, defying strong U.S. opposition and warnings from the president, Trump, that is. Wow. Just wow, dude. So I remember yesterday, I was like, I don't think UK's on board with the two-state solution, recognizing Palestinian statehood at the UN. Well, now, according to this report, they are. So it's literally all of Europe here now, I think, except for Hungary. Damn, dude. Damn, man. but we'll stand by our genocidal maniacs till the end, apparently, here in America. Over 400,000 flee Gaza City amid Aardvark ground invasion. How do you kill 400,000 people and get rid of the bodies is what they're trying to figure out right now. I don't know if it's physically possible. They're blowing the hell out of they're leveling Gaza City right now with all the civilians there. They don't care. Jeez.
I was just going to say, you leave them buried there and you build on top. And then you saw that movie Poltergeist. And then hopefully one of those situations will at least happen for some sort of justice. That's all we're going to get anymore.
They said do an Aardvark shirt. That would be funny, but only our viewers get the joke, though. You know what I mean? But that would be funny. If you got, for longtime viewers, remember when Simon was on the show, we ran the Anthem, the Aardvark series as our backhanded, escape from censorship and making fun of Aardvarks. Smoke Trick looks like he should be on the corner selling dime bags. Yeah, he's a thug, for sure. Smoke Trick is a thug, no doubt. The U.S. fired $500 million worth of top interceptors defending Aardvark land from missile attacks during the whole 12-day war with Iran. And so who cares? You know what I mean? Anything for Aardvark land. That's a report out of Business Insider. They're kind of shady, but I believe this is probably true. It's probably even more than that. The U.S. military fired $500 million worth of top interceptor missiles to defend Aardvark land in the Iran Aardvark land war that just happened. New Pentagon documents reveal. So,
who started that one? Who started that little short war there?
It was the terrorists, Hamas, No, Hezbollah. No, it's also confusing. No, it was actually Aardvark land started it.
It was a preemptive thing, wasn't it? If I'm not
mistaken. Yeah, because they had to get the terrorists because they knew they were plotting terrorism. And so they had to preemptively strike them. And we threw $500 billion worth of weapons behind the effort there.
Neat.
We are complicit in all this. Not me and Ruckus and our audience, but the U.S. government, who we just played at the very beginning. Trump said he's representing Americans. I don't want my name on this shit. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. Okay, continuing. Mertz says criticism of Aardvark land in Germany has become pretext for hatred of Aardvarks, as he wears a little Aardvark hat. What the hell, dude? What the hell, man? That's a report out of Reuters. What the hell, dude?
They photoshopped the hat.
Reuters did on this photo? Look, this is Reuters. Maybe they did. I don't know. But damn, dude, what the hell? It says a file photo of a German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, attends says he attends celebrations of the newly completed renovation of Reichenbach Strauss Synagogue in Munich, Germany, 2 days ago. And so I guess to fit in, he had to wear the little hat. What the? Oh, man. Okay, so here's the internet censors. Don't be anti-septic. We saw this coming a long time ago here at Weaponized News. Here's Cyberwell, an Aardvark Intel-linked organization, is now working as a, quote, trusted partner with all major social media platforms to censor anti-septicism. Their CEO boost. Let's go to the video here now. And so making the interweb safe for Aardvarks hurt feelings.
So Cyberwell is the first ever open database of online anti-Semitism, a nonprofit initiative based here in Israel that's really looking at the issue of online Jew hatred through the lens of compliance. Actually, we're a service, if you will, for the social media platforms, helping them enforce their social media policies against anti-Semitism at scale. So Cyberwell now is taking, you mentioned over 10,000 examples that we've reported to social media platforms. Actually, the number is much higher at this point, around 11,500, and we believe those flags have been responsible for removing well over 300,000 pieces of content is what we estimate. Cyberwell is fighting back by taking our high integrity data on what online anti-Semitism is and actually using LLMs and generative AI to really take the brain of our human analysts and identify anti-Semitism accurately online. And we believe that this type of work is not only what's going to be able to help social media platforms automatically flag and remove hate speech that violates their policies, including anti-Semitism, but is a crucial thing to do as we look at the rollout of AI, because all of these large language models are trained on online data, including anti-Semitism. So in order to accurately make sure that that data is not being amplified and that bias isn't being created in these large language models or ChatGPT-like applications, you're going to want an expert like Cyberwell to come in and give you high integrity data and an AI application that can ensure that data isn't being amplified. Since Cyberwell started in 2022, we definitely have seen an increase in the rates of removal by the social media platforms. When we started this work, the average rate of removal for reported anti-Semitic content was sitting at about 20 to 25% at best. Now that Cyberwell is working as a trusted partner directly with all major social media platforms, and because of the explosion of online anti-Semitism since October 7th, we do see that that average rate of removal has gone up to about 50%. According to a survey by the American Jewish Committee, only 1 in 3 Jews that experience online anti-Semitism actually take that extra minute to go ahead and report that anti-Semitism. I say if you've already been offended and have already been hurt by the content that you're seeing, take the extra minute and go ahead and report that content. It's absolutely crucial because every report and every decision by a content moderator actually feeds the algorithms of the social media platforms themselves and improves the algorithm. We're constantly working on tools to bring to the public to help us fight back against hate online.
Haga Aardvark, be nice to them. They're going to ban you.
You have got to be kidding me, right?
I ain't
that
kidding.
Was a joke. That was a parody, right?
No,
that was
it wasn't.
AI
That was very
bit.
that was very serious.
We're in trouble, folks.
Anyway.
But everything was including anti-Semitism. So this is used for other things, not just anti-Semitism. That's fantastic. I just love it. This has got all the things. It's great. It'd be wonderful if they could connect this with Palantir and with the Anduril or whoever makes the drones. Palmer Luckey. What's that guy's name? There you go.
Palmer Luckey. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think.
And then you could get targeted by a drone for slipping up. And
not only do you get your comment removed and banned from the platform, you also get droned off the face of the planet all at the same time.
Don't be offensive to aardvarks and be antiseptic on the interwebs, or you may suffer that fate. Hug an aardvark today. Democrat PR firm to run bot army for aardvark land. And so this is more wonderful news about what's coming our way here now. Isn't this wonderful? A new FARA document reveals SKDK's plan to flood the zone with social media bots as part of its $600,000 contract with Aardvark Land. And so when you see some bots out there saying how great Genocide is, you'll probably know where it came from. Probably came from these guys. SKDK Knickenbocker LLC, a top Democrat Party aligned public relations firm, has agreed to run a bot-based program to amplify pro-Aardvark narratives on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and other platforms, according to a filing under the Foreign Agents Registration Act submitted August 29th. What? Flood the zone. The Aardvark genocide is wonderful.
I have a shot of the SKDK office right there. There's their boss. He's all like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and flood Twitter. Great. And then I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and yeah, flood Facebook while you're at it. Thanks. Great.
I ran this poll on the X, only got 24 votes, but what the hell? Who killed Charlie Kirk? Was it Aardvarkland, transgender furry himself, or the government? Let's show the results here. Or it hasn't closed yet, but due to throttling and probably that firm. So the majority are saying now this Candace Owens Tucker narrative allegedly that's out there. I think we do have a couple clips from Tucker. Who killed Charlie Kirk has taken hold, and 54% say it's Aardvarkland. Only 20% believe the official story of a transgender furry. Did he kill himself with his alleged, betrayal of Aardvarkland, which is a counter conspiracy narrative on the interwebs going around right now at 8%. And then, of course, I say it's the government, regardless, 16% there. So that's how the X followers of Weaponized News are feeling.
That's really interesting because even though that's just the followers of that post or Weaponized News, and it was a small sampling, from my experience on Twitter, that's a good representation of everybody across the board on Twitter. I mean, if excluding all of the MAGA Q crowd, of course.
Here it is again. We'll probably just say it every day here now because it's documented fact, undeniable. No matter how many lies they tell, Aardvarkland is committing genocide in Gaza. UN report finds. Sorry to tell you. If you missed yesterday's show, we went over that report. It's undeniable fact now, documented up one side and down the other. This is indeed the case that ruckus in Palestine.
What does Aardvarkland have to say in response? Do they say that that's Hamas propaganda?
Yeah, they say F you, UN, you're anti-Septic.
Did they really?
Basically, yeah.
No, have they responded? No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I think I said it yesterday. Netanyahu says BS, basically. I forget the exact words, but
why not? There, yeah, sure.
Well, even the EU and AP story, EU lays out new tariffs and sanctions on Aardvarkland over war in Gaza. The European Union on Wednesday laid out its toughest plan yet to pressure Aardvarkland to end the war in Gaza. It's not a war, it's a genocide, as Palestinians fled en masse from Aardvark tanks, drones, and troops pushing deeper into the coastal enclave ravaged by 23 months of war. The EU's foreign policy chief urged the 27-member nations to increase tariffs on some Aardvark goods and impose sanctions on Aardvark settlers and 2 members of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet, Shadow America President, National Security Minister Ben Gvir, and Finance Minister Smotrich. She also proposed sanctioning 10 Hamas leaders. Well, got to get the Hamas as well. So there you go. Send in NATO. This is part of the anti-Septic behavior in Aardvarkland. It must be stopped at all costs, even if Aardvarks are the guilty party here. Aardvarkland officials slam film about Palestinian boy becoming country's Oscars submission, threatens to defund awards. I believe they are going to defund the awards. They say, you honor any Palestinians, and there is no more award show here for this anti-Septic behavior. Malik Zohar blasted the APRA Awards for naming The Sea, that's the name of this film, as Aardvarkland's best film of the year, claiming it spits, get it? Claiming it spits on the heroic IDF soldiers. And the movie about a Palestinian boy is expected to be Aardvark Land's Oscars submission. And so we can't have that. So we're just canceling the whole thing, is what the reaction to all of this is here now. There you go. Aardvark Land Film Academy Awards face government defunding after anti-war movie The Sea wins top prize. We can't have that. We can't have that.
That's totally normal. There's no man. That's the most. That's insane. That's like how old are you? First of all, second of all, are you like a pampered, screaming little brat? Like what is going on here? They're like, well, since they won, we're just gonna pull all the funding. Yeah, this is the dumbest. This is the Eric Carpet. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Right? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Talk about an overreaction. Wow.
At this Ofra, I think is how you pronounce it, awards program there in Aardvark Land. It brought together nearly 1,100 filmmakers, producers, and actors. And this film won international feature, and it also won the best screenplay. And so we can't have that. So yeah, we're taking our cameras and going home, essentially. Okay, here's Tucker.
I'm surprised they didn't bomb the event.
They may very well be.
Ceremonies. Sure.
Yeah. Here's Tucker Carlson, alleged propagandist for the government, pushing the narrative hard on the Aardvarks. So that makes me want to say, hey, let's pump the brakes on this. Let's hear from Tucker.
For that speech that I gave in July, we had a conversation about this backstage right before I went on. And I was fulminating and getting all red in the face like I often do, to my shame. And I was mad thinking about this and thinking about the effort by the neocons in the United States to draw us in to another forever war with Iran. Not a defense of Iran, of course. It's merely an acknowledgement that we've done this before. This happened in Iraq, which we entered into at the behest of those same foreign policy strategists, and it didn't work. And so I was going on at some length backstage with Charlie, and I said, probably not going to talk about that. I'm not going to torture you. I know your donors hate this when I say that. And also Epstein was in the news, and it was clear to me that, Epstein's probably not like a Mossad agent or something, but Epstein clearly had contact with Israeli intelligence and American intelligence and French intelligence, but the only one you're not allowed to talk about is Israeli intelligence. But it seemed true to me, and I had done some work on that. I knew a bunch of people pretty close to that story, so I thought that. And I said that to Charlie, and I said, but I'm not going to say that because I don't want to make your donors mad. I know it's just going to be like an endless flurry of text telling you to stop or you're going to lose a bunch of funding. And he looked at me, I'll never forget it, and said, go all the way. Do it. Go all the way. I said, man, a lot of things I can talk about. I don't need to talk about that. And he said, do it. So I did it. By the way, I think that conversation, he had a mic on, and so did I. It probably exists somewhere on somebody's server, but that's, I think, a faithful rendition of what he said. And by the way, I'm not trying to blame him for my remarks. You can agree or disagree with those remarks, but I'm saying this only because I was shocked and sickened by the reaction of the ghoulish and really repulsive reaction of the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, to Charlie's death. Basically made it all about him and all about his country, immediately trying to take the energy, the sadness, the grief that people felt over Charlie's murder and redirect it towards support for whatever project he's involved in.
As it should be, right?
I just want to point out, did or did not the American president do the exact same thing?
He did. Trump did.
What Tucker Carlson just said, we also did, not us, but the American president also immediately took that event and used it for how I forget how Tucker just said it, but for the project that they're working on furthering, whatever. The same difference, same thing.
Plutonium says, in my opinion, backstage scripting. It's certainly starting to sort out to look that way. And then Denver said he's not going to, what does he say here? He says, no effing Aardvark stooge or law will I abide by. Well, that sounds antiseptic to me, Denver.
Didn't they announce it at the same time too? Didn't they both? They waited. And
it was like a couple minutes apart or something. It's all very strange timing. Like it's all backstage scripting. It's looking that way. Here's another little bit from Tucker, and then we'll move on.
He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true.
So that's lending to the theory Aardvark Lamb whacked Charlie Kirk, right?
And this is why Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes had to come out and play defense for Aardvarks.
It looks that way, man. It looks that way.
Yeah, they're still fuming about Tucker. They're fuming about Candace. Who's the other one that they're fuming about? I don't know. I think they're gonna get to all of them eventually. They're all gonna not 360, 180. They're all gonna 180.
Good night, Plutonium on the YouTube. Let's see here. This is good news, right? We love Technocracy, Scientific Dictatorship. Palantir CEO Alex Karp was given an award from the American Friends of Chabad Lubavitch on Tuesday in D.C. He told them that aardvarks are going to have to leave their comfort zone to find new ways to fight anti-Septicism, as their current tactics are kind of not working. Some critics of aardvarks suffer from aardvark derangement syndrome, he said. We have to fight for a rule of law, which is comical coming from this character, high agency society, and everybody's going to have to help out. And that includes people who don't like to ever speak out, finance, Hollywood, all sorts of other people, he said, as reported by Aardvark Insider. Of course, Palantir would hardly exist if we had any mediocrity, let alone by trading at 778 times earnings. And that's a report out of Information Liberation. Again, a great follow. Everybody should follow this guy and go to his website. He does very good work over there, Chris Meehan. So there it is right there. A wonderful blessing in DC, awarding Mr. Technocracy, Alex Karp, this wonderful award.
So the Palestinians got to leave their homes, and the Aardvarks got to leave their comfort zones. There you go.
Seems fair. The other side of it, Mark Levin, this guy, makes me want to puke. Former congressman and now a TV show host, Matt Gaetz, I'm just going to leave this right here, and he's talking about this post by Mark Levin. The Romans and Persians are gone, Charlie. The Aardvarks are still here. How do you explain that? And Aardvark Land has defeated the Iranian military. Did it in 2 days. Come back home, Charlie. Reject the kooks, my friend. And this is a report, a post by Mark Levin, known piece of trash over there at Fox News, and I believe he has a radio show as well on your fake conservative talk show channels. This post was made June 20th, 2025. So I don't know. There's some bits and crumbs around there, around the edges, I do believe. Right wingers, please. GOP crackdown on radical leftists. GOP, best we can do is another ADL-led crackdown on antiseptic behavior. Here you go. There you go. 1.8 million unique pieces of extremist or hateful content, including antiseptic, neo-Nazi, and Islamic terrorist material, were found on Stream, the world's largest, most popular online gaming marketplace. And that was an old post from the ADL, so I'm sure it has only gotten worse since then. And who is this? Representative James Comer said that I'm calling on CEOs of Discord, Stream, Twitch, and Reddit to testify at an oversight hearing about the radicalization on the interwebs caused due to online forum activity, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated acts.
Gee, hasn't history showed us that how do those people become radical? Where's the inciting coming from? Oh, that's right, undercover feds.
Who's inciting it? Who's inciting it? Oh yeah, your favorite federal agent. So, Human Rights Commission.
I'm like, I'm a high late 40s. Okay, I'll be 50 next year. But the thing is, like, even I understand. You don't have to be like a young kid to understand that, like, when you're on any of these online communities, as soon as you see somebody doing what is known as Fed posting, you call them out on it. You say, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you Fed posting?" I've never witnessed where somebody makes one of these obvious, like, crazy, like, "Hey, we should do XYZ," where somebody says, "Yeah, that's a great idea." Next thing you know, it turns into a plot. And, like, no, this is all fake. It's fake. It's made up.
It's made up. Here's the Human Rights Commissioner out of the UN. Every country was put on notice by the ICJ. We reported on it here at the time at Weaponized News that there was a plausible risk of genocide in Gaza. Every country became obliged under the law to take action to prevent genocide. Not America, buddy. Let's hear from this guy.
The most significant aspect of the interim orders of 26 January 2024 was that every country in the world was put on notice by the International Court of Justice that there was a plausible risk of genocide in Gaza. And if it had not happened before that, it certainly happened then, that every country in the world became obliged under the law to take action, not to speak fine words, to take action to prevent genocide. There can be no doubt whatsoever that obligation was activated on the 24th of January 2024, if not before. And in response to your question, that applies as much to India as, Jamie, it applies to Germany and the United States, as it applies to my country and every other country.
Was Denver say so?
Why do you call out the U.S. and Germany specifically? Oh, that's right. Never mind.
He's antiseptic. So everybody needs to be censored. The entire effing planet needs to behave. So Aardvark diaper force and its murdering inbred leadership can continue murdering and not have to listen to the cries that follow. Yeah, seems like a reasonable policy to me. That was Denver said that comment on the Rumble. What do we even say at this point? There's just more. I got more footage from blowing up buildings in Gaza. Like, why even play it? I think it's, God dang, man. That's all we got today, Ruckus. I don't even feel like playing the footage of them blowing up more buildings there. It's just never ending. It feels like.
I'll unfortunately probably see it as well as the dead bodies as I'm scrolling through my Twitter feed later this evening. Shocking, absolutely shocking. But luckily, I heard it from that young Aardvark lady there who had such a wonderfully put together presentation about her fantastic product there for social media. Maybe pretty soon I won't have to be bothered by seeing these explosions and dead bodies of Palestinians. Excuse me, I guess they're not really Palestinians. I don't know what to call them, but we can't call them that, can we now? No, sir, that would be antiseptic, and that's a no-no. But yeah,
you call them what they are, Hamas terrorists.
There you go, Hamas terrorists. Good old HTs right there. Yep.
HTs. Oh man, it's so horrific. And this is it's still very serious. I don't mean to make light of any of this. It's just covering it day after day, week after week here, and just like the most we can get out of the international community is finally the UN. We're like 2 years into this almost here now, and finally they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's a genocide." Yeah, we've been saying it a long freaking time here, and nobody would still no Arab country. Where are the freaking Muslims in these countries? They're all corrupt too, just like every Western country. Government corrupt. All these Muslims are corrupt, or they would have already went to war directly. I guess Iran kind of quasi-lee, but not really. Supposedly they have their proxy forces, Hezbollah in Lebanon, that are trying to do something, but it's just like, and supposedly Yemen is a proxy force of Iran as well, but they're just like shooting these little dinky missiles. Like, I guess Yemen did shoot some meaningful missiles, but still just like, no, where is, you know what I mean? Where's Turkey, Jordan, Egypt, EAU, all of these, UAE, Qatar, all of these characters, right? With $1 billion from all the oil and all the corruption. Where are they? Where are they? They're the Muslims. I'm not a freaking Muslim, and I'm speaking out more than freaking the Muslims against what's going on there. You know what I mean? It's just, it's sick. It's sick. Let's go to the channels, and we'll sign off on this broadcast for Wednesday. At this point, it's Trump's just literally rubbing our face in licking the boots of King Charles over there. How does MAGA support this? I truly do not understand what kind of mind control they're under here now to support this garbage. But they're all going to fawn over Melania looking elegant and Trump. And it's just, what is wrong with you people, dude? You're not, are they American? Maybe they got the brain bug. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just all propaganda shills, clownfluencers. I don't know. Over to Odysee, I see Fat Bob and John in the chat today. And shout out to Gur if you're watching later, because I know you're a regular listener, but you're on a way different time schedule. So if you do tune in later, shout out to you, Gur, regular listener over there on the Odysee. John says, have you noticed how many of our cabinet members have been members of the CFR? I have not, but that's I'm going to circle back and take a look at that. The CFR is the sister organization of the RIAA, which seeks to get the U.S. under British control. Both organizations reek of Fabian socialists. I did not know that, John. Thank you for pointing that out. And another reason why we should be revolted and disgusted by Trump's praise of the UK right now. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee and keeping that chat lively, and your very, very timely information there that I did not know. But I think we shall actually, if I ever get some time, take a look at Trump's cabinet and its connections to the Council on Foreign Relations, because that is still significant, I do believe here now. in the whole one world government agenda, the great reset that we're in the midst of here now. Thank you everybody for tuning in on Bitchute, on Rumble, of course, lively chat over there as always. YouTube, thank you again, Plutonium, for the super chats and the comments. We do appreciate it. And X as well, and Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you everybody on all the channels for tuning in. Any final thoughts here, Ruckus, before we sign off this Wednesday broadcast?
No, I'm good. Well, it's been a fun show. Man, I just can't imagine how everything's going to change about 24 hours from now. And, I don't know when the next time is that I'll be with you, but I'll be on Boiler Room tomorrow. So everybody check that out over at alternatecurrentradio.com. Maybe I'll be on with Patrick Henningsen for Sunday. And then, Lord willing, I'll be on with you again next week, Sam. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ruckus. Yeah, we're going to keep grinding through it here, I guess. That's all we can do. Keep grinding through it. And I'm just really disappointed, more in MAGA than the government. I already know the government's corrupt. All these characters are corrupt, pieces of garbage. But I'm very let down by Joe Blow, general public citizen of America here, that they're just so blind and brainwashed by this nonsense. They can't see the tyranny rolling out right in front of our face as National Guards go into major U.S. cities. Like, what the hell, man? If it was the Democrat doing this, they'd all be screaming, but it's your guy Trump, and so it's perfectly fine. Law and order, crime emergency. Bullshit, okay? Bullshit. And with that, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. We'll be back